welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. You know what? It is going to take a little bit of time to get used to that intro.
Yep.
I'm still waiting for the Love Island cast, but no, we have done that rebrand. So yeah, I just have to remember myself. So Chris, we're going to talk about the second episode of Singletown, and honestly, I predicted it was going to be a little bit like Temptation Island, and straight away we're in there with a bit of drama. So, I mean, what did you make to the opening?
Well, I think what we'd said on the first episode regarding Claudia was like she was all up for this, wasn't she? And all it took was one look at her other half, and she was a blubbering wreck, wasn't she? I mean, obviously it's set up; they're going to go past the screen, the pub where he's in and that. But I was not expecting that reaction, Dave. I was expecting to be like, "Oh, well, fucking then, let's go for it." But she was really, really upset.
Yeah, and I think I said in the last episode, didn't I, that I prefer the fact that the communication with the Temptation Island, the different groups, is a bit more controlled, and they can only see these little snippets on the video. They're not going to bump into each other, they're not just going to wander past the coffee shop because you'd probably be doing that every day now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit of drama, but I tell you what, Chris, Claudia's annoyed me a bit there. It's very, very clear that she wants to do this because Rob is saying like, come on, just say the word and we'll leave. We'll do it. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to be here, but it's her pushing it, but creating all the, we've got all the tears and theatrics. He wasn't even really doing anything other than just chatting to someone. So she pissed me off a bit there, if I'm honest, Chris.
Yeah, it's one of them, and it's do as I say, not as I do. Really,
Yeah.
that's the whole dynamic of it. They're not interested one bit in like Rob as a person, but as soon as someone else shows an interest, she's like, "Oh fuck, what have I done?" So you reap what you sow, Dave. How that plays out over the show, I don't know, but it was a good start. Yeah, it was proper. Like it was up there. I was thinking, yes, go on, a bit of drama, a bit of drama. I've got to say though, Dave, I have got a bit of a problem with Rob a bit later on in the show when he went to the gym with Jeremiah and Charlie. And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
in the gym. And now Rob, he's a slim lad and everything, but he was proper digging Charlie out, going, "You're lifting the big boy weights, are you now?" And I'm thinking, hang on, you're not exactly fucking Lou Ferrigno yourself, mate. You know what I mean? But you on like 20K dumbbells or something. You're not fucking Superman. You shouldn't, I mean, I hate that anyway. You should never take the piss out of what somebody can lift or anything. It's just proper bro code bollocks, all that. But
Yeah, yeah.
it was just like, fuck off, you idiot. He was proper like being nasty to Charlie, trying to be a smart ass. Whether he was set up to do that, I don't know. But I just felt it was a bit uncomfortable. And Charlie was like, "Yeah, I've not been to the gym for a year." And I was like, "But what was the point of this segment?" It was more to talk about what was going on, and Rob was just being a bit of a bellend, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those that he'd try and, if he was challenged on it, he'd try and pass it off or palm it off as banter, but it wasn't really, I think, didn't they say baby weights or something? I mean, I have to say, Charlie is a very small framed guy, isn't he? I mean, I can't recall anyone that I actually know who is quite as small as him, and he's obviously got a bit of a complex about it. So, digging him out that he's lifting baby weights, yeah, that's a bit of a see you next Tuesday move, that, isn't it?
Just a bit. It's just
Yeah.
like, why? But anyway, yeah, it was just a weird one. Dave, I've got to say though, one of the funniest moments of this episode was, we've just watched Too Hot to Handle, Love is Blind, even Love Island. They push the boat out, don't they? Love Island's final dates, they get to go in helicopters and they got fucking wineries and all this stuff. They go on these really extravagant, lovely thing, no expense spared. Singletown, they put me in a fucking dinghy in the middle of the Thames, which has got a fucking spar in the middle of it. How shit did that look? It
It was
looked
terrible, wasn't it?
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's the opposite to no expense spared, isn't it? Every expense is agonized and poured over. So, yeah, this is definitely on a shoestring budget, isn't it?
Oh my god, is it? I mean, Jesus
They've,
Christ!
they've spent all the money on the flats, I think.
Yeah, I think they had, and obviously this was filmed after Love Island, so they must have gone, "Oh fuck, we've only got enough for this." But I mean, they're in one of the dirtiest waters ever. That fucking water's a mess, like the back of the Thames, wherever they're supposed to be. And he was sat there, and I was just
You
like,
just see a few turds floating
fucking
past.
yeah. Fucking tire on a bike or something. And they were trying to be sexy and stuff. And the one thing I would say about this show, which I really, really like, Dave, is they're all normal people in the looks. And I'm taking the piss out of Rob having a dig at Charlie, but
Yeah,
none of them
yeah.
are gearheads. None of the girls are bloody proper Instagram models. They're normal looking lads and girls, and that's what I do like, because it does seem that the real couples, they're not just put together from like a talent agency, which you can see on the Love Island or whatever. This for me seems a bit more real, and when they're crying like the people, it does seem like it is pretty genuine. Maybe that's why Claudia was like that, and it was just the fact that when they all got in the hot tub, they just looked like normal people. A couple of them had a bit of rolls of fat, didn't they? And that, not nothing too much, but just enough to say, you know what, I like that. It's not fucking like these Ken and Barbie doll look we get on Love Island.
Yeah, and 6% body fat and that. So yeah, I like that as well. Now, Chris, we've had 4 dates in this episode. I want to start with Jeremiah at first because I think he is my kind of David Brent. So he'd met Emily at the brunch. You know, he was putting on all his moves, which were a bit shit as far as I was concerned. But you know, she seemed quite smart. And early in the conversation, she was calling him out on his bullshit and saying, you know, it sounds like a bit of an excuse when he's saying about, oh, you know, Selin needs to experience things outside of her own relationship, blah, blah, blah. She seemed quite smart. But then when he's saying, like, you know, do you know I like you? Would you slap me if I kissed you? It's like, oh, come on, you cheesy fucker. And she seems genuinely into him. So, again, I don't know why. I'm not seeing what she's seeing. But what did you make of that date?
He's a dick. Let's not beat him around the bush. He's a dick. I did say it, I think yesterday on the other day's show was, if he's a lollipop, he's the type of guy who would lick himself. He fucking loves himself. And I still say Celine is the catch. Oh, Selin, sorry, what it was. She's by far out of the relationship. She's got more going on for her. I just think she's so low on confidence that either he sucked it out of her completely, or the fact that they've been together so long, she doesn't know anything else. And obviously, they were kids when they were together, as you mentioned on the last show. He's a dick. But she fell for it, Dave. Great blue hair. I've got to get her hair was on point without a doubt. And he went in for the kiss, but he's like, he thinks he's fucking Dirk Diggler, doesn't he? He comes out, he thinks he's some fucking porn star or something in knobhead. I don't like him at all, Dave. I really don't.
Yeah, I thought she looked a bit Smurfish, you know, and thought she might give him a good smurfing. But I don't know. I think he's cheated multiple times. I think they even said that in the
Yeah.
last episode, and he just has no qualms about it. But I tell you what, I did like that when he went back to the flat. Certainly, the girls called him out on it, and they were
Yes.
gutted because they were
Yes.
thinking about their own relationships, their own situation, and they're thinking, well, he's just broken. He's gone on one date. That's it. He's kissed
Yeah.
her. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like the fact they called him out on it. And I think Rob did sort of insinuate, not in too many words, but he sort of hinted at the fact that, you know, he thinks Jeremiah, if he wants to go for it, he'll just go for it. And I absolutely think he will.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because I think it was Sophie and Natasha were the ones who called him out, and they were quite right to. Because at the end of the day, if he's doing that in their head, they're just thinking, well, that means that our guys could be doing the same. So,
Exactly.
you got to practice what you preach, and obviously, Salim, she was on a date. With that guy, and she was fine. She ended up talking about Jeremiah more than anything. I mean, it didn't help that the guy was a bit of a dick anyway, but she genuinely, you can see that she loves this guy, and I just don't think he sees it, to be honest.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought Celine got the shitty end of the stick there. You know, she got paired. So Blake was his name. He works, you know, he works in nightlife. So I don't know if that's a strip club or, you know, just nightclubs or whatever. But you know, he orders a porn star martini, and it's just like, oh fucking hell, mate, you're a see you next Tuesday as well. And then, when it starts off not too bad actually. He pulls a chair out for her. I think those are just manners. But it goes downhill from him ordering that drink, and then when she starts talking about Jeremiah, Blake just does not give a shit, and he's like not looking at her, sort of looking off in the distance and stuff, not listening to what she was saying. So she wasn't interested, but it's not as if he made a good play and got rejected. He was just, he wasn't a good match for her. So I still say that it's going to take a little bit of time for Selin to kind of grow. She's been with Jeremiah since she was a kid. I think if you get someone who isn't a complete douchebag to come and romance and wine and dine her a bit, I think you'll see her grow and sort of realize that the world doesn't stop with Jeremiah.
Yes, yeah. I think she's a good-looking girl as well, Dave. I think she's got a lot going on for her that she could do a lot better. At the moment, however, he may change and show his undying love. I don't see it, but he could do it.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I was trying to play good cop, bad cop, but I just think he's a knobhead. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna fucking do it over the whole episode. So what other couples did you spot, Dave?
Well, so I mean, we had Charlie and Elliot. They both went out on dates, didn't they? So we spoke about Charlie being digged out for his small frame, but he ends up going on a date with Hayden, and they'd connected quite well. And I think when he goes out on his date, actually both flats get to see who he's going on, who the other person is going out on a date with. And no, I mean Hayden and Charlie seem to have a bit of a connection. I think Hayden was saying he was from a traveling background, and you don't get many gay travelers around, so he didn't say he was ostracized, but he kind of felt a bit on his own in having to deal with this. Charlie was saying, well, that's similar to him because, his brother and his dad are proper blokes, kind of thing. So yeah, they did seem to have a bit of a connection there. But of course, when he gets back and he finds out that Elliott's been on a date, he absolutely breaks down and starts sobbing, doesn't he? So I think what we're seeing with, a lot of these couples is they're having a great time. You know, old George as well was starting to have doubts as well about himself. It's like, well, it's great if I'm doing it, but if my other half is doing it as well, I don't like that as much. It's such a fucking hypocritical thing, isn't it? But you're seeing it time and again with all these couples.
Yeah, and it's funny, isn't it? I always think, like, to myself, like the human psyche. Is it just something that everybody does naturally? Because in most of these shows we've watched, Dave, like, all right, Love Island, they're not coming in as a couple, but they develop a relationship. But as soon as somebody different and like a different face comes in, even if it's a couple of weeks on Love Island or anything, most people, man and girl, just fuck them off and go, oh, well, I'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? I don't know whether that's like the whole point of the experiment of these sort of shows, but it always seems that somebody is always not happy in the relationship. I know these are supposed to have problems anyway, but I can see pretty much, other than Selena at the moment and maybe Natasha, most of them just fucking hot tailing it off with somebody else.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can't help but feel it's to do with empathy and just So in everyday life, and I'm sure I'm not on my own, but when you're in that situation yourself, well, surely your first thought is to think about your other half and empathize with, well, how would I feel if they were behaving in a certain way? And that kind of drives your own behavior. Whereas, and I don't know, we were saying about age as well. Maybe it's an age thing because a lot of these are young, aren't they? And maybe they're just, maybe they've got low empathy, but when it's thrust in their face, they can't avoid it. So they're not imagining being in their partner's shoes. But
Yes.
when they can't avoid it and it's right in their face, then they have to deal with it and they don't like it.
Yeah, yeah. He could be right, Dave. It's a great, honestly, genuinely, it's a great sort of thing to watch. I love watching the dynamics of like this most solid couple, and then as soon as some bit of temptation, they're like, oh, who,
Yeah.
what, who?
I,
Hello, yeah,
I mean, I thought Elliot, I mean, he'd had doubts. I think Charlie had cheated in their relationship. And so he had doubts. I think we both predicted they'd end up separated by the end of this. I thought Elliott might hang on a little bit longer, but he seemed to, after a bit of a nervous start, he seemed to connect with Mitch, and then, they shared a bit of a kiss at the end. So it just solidifies for me. I can't see this couple staying together, Charlie and Elliot. I think they'll
No.
find someone else, whether it's Hayden and Mitch or whether it's someone else. I think they're both open to exploring new relationships.
Yeah, and I think it might be the right thing to do, to be honest, Dave. I honestly do with them too. I think it may just run its natural course. The others, we haven't seen a lot of like Natasha. She seems very, very sort of down to earth and really nice. And even Sophie with George.
Yeah.
Sophie, I think Sophie's a good looking girl as well. And it's Luke in it with Natasha, and he seems a bit of a dick as well. So
Mm.
I want to see how they go on when they're tempted. And that's obviously coming. The preview we got for episode 3 shows that there is a bit of temptation there. It's just whether they act on it. I mean, again, fucking great TV, Dave. If there's not
Yeah.
some sort of fight or mental breakdown somewhere, then it's not a reality show. Sadly, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Mental
But
breakdown. Oof,
not
bit
mental.
harsh.
No, 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 yeah, yeah. Let's just rephrase
On
that. But
dodgy ground there.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't. I don't think it. But that's what they're going for, aren't they? In these shows, unfortunately, the way the world, they want like somebody to be absolutely in floods of tears because something's on. That's the whole point of the show. If they all live happy ever after, you're not going to get much
Yeah,
of
a
a
bit
show,
a
are
bit
you?
of
So
drama, but manageable
yeah,
drama, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. Not a
So
breakdown,
yeah,
Chris. Let's just. I'll take. I'll retract that statement.
break out the Homer gif.
Yeah, you'll be going right back into that hedge.
Now, anything else catch your eye from the episode, Chris?
No, nothing. To be honest, Dave, I think we've pretty much summarised it quite well. I'm interested how it goes because it's going to heat up. It's going to. It seems to just be pushing more and more temptation in front of it in their eyes. So I want to see who really, really breaks, Dave. Somebody's going to cheat on somebody in this show, definitely.
See, I think, and it is. I'm glad we've decided to cover it because, again, if I can liken it to anything, it's Temptation Island, isn't it? I mean, they talk about their exes, but actually mentally they're all still coupled up. But I can't really see, hand on heart, any of the buggers staying together. At least with Temptation Island, you could say, well, they look like a really strong couple. And, it's when they get turned, or tempted away that you go, oh, I didn't see that coming. With this lot, I'm pretty sure all their heads will turn. Maybe, like you say, maybe Sophie and Natasha, maybe not. Um, but I'm sure the producers will rub their noses in it if their other halves are doing. So there's no way George isn't doing something in the next coming episodes. So yeah, I'm really interested where it goes. But I wish there was kind of a bit of a stronger couple that we could destroy.
It's too easy. I think the only one I'd say is Selin will probably stay with Jeremiah because she's just used to him cheating on her and treating her like shit. And I hope she doesn't. I hope she gets a set and fucks him off, or that they patch things up and he actually starts treating her with respect. I'm well in for Selin or Selin, as the name is, Dave. I think she deserves better than him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it will be massively disappointing, but I'm still optimistic that she'll grow as a person and then be more comfortable by herself and not just see herself as an extension of Jeremiah. But I
Yeah.
mean, let's see how we go. Now, Chris, if people want to get in contact with us, how would they get in contact with us?
Well, on Twitter, guys, the new Twitter handle is at CDRealityCast. If you want to email the show, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And as always, drop us a review if you can, guys, on your podcast catching up. And it just helps myself and Dave get out there to more people. And if you have got friends who are into reality shows and the same sort of stuff that we listen to and you guys listen to, just give them a nudge our way because, we always like to introduce more people into the shows, don't we, Dave?
Absolutely. And I will just drop a quick plug. So, across on the Bachelor Banter podcast. So, Chris, we've identified there's a Jessica from Love is Blind in the
Oh, my word.
show Listen to Your Heart. So the Bachelor spin-off. She is exactly the same. Slightly less drunk. But she's coupled up with someone who she conveniently forgets and is more interested in sniping and trying to take pot shots at someone else's relationship. And so yeah, definite Jessica on that show.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff there. I'll have to get on it because I just keep bloody the amount of things I'm watching. I keep putting it off. I know I need to sit down and watch it because it just looks right up my street, and especially with you podcasting on it.
Yeah, so I mean, the shows are an hour and a half, but there's only six of them. So there's three out at the minute, and then so we've got three left to go. And it's kind of because you like all like the Britain's Got Talent and X Factor and stuff like that, don't you? So in the third episode, it becomes a bit more like that. So we've gone through all all the coupling up and what have you, and then they have to do a performance, and then they get judged on it.
Yeah, that's right. You know what it is, Dave? Actually, it does sound right. And Sam as well. We love stuff like this. I think more than anything, I love Britain's Got Talent and X Factor for the dickheads. Once it goes to the live show, I don't watch it.
True,
I give
true.
up because you've got the cream there, and most of them are all hidden behind a talent agency. They've got vocal coaches. There's some got through the other day. Simon Cowell, this girl, she was about 8. She was Tina Turner. She did what's she got? You know that rolling.
Oh yeah,
Tina Turner, rolling, rolling
yeah.
on that one. She does it amazing. She was about 8, 10 years old. Fucking unbelievable. Comes out, yeah. She's only been singing it on stage in the Tina Turner production on the fucking West End for
Oh
don't know how long.
god.
So how the fuck is she on Britain's Got Talent? And she gets the gold buzzer. It's like, what a load of bullshit. It's all fake. So at that point, I'm out. As soon as the best ones get through, I've had enough. I just like the idiots who come on and like you get someone telling them that they're the best singer in the world or the best comedian. Some guy did a comedy act the other day. Elton John, fucking hell, Dave. It was
Oh,
amazing.
was it
It
as
was
bad as the comedy act on Afterlife season 2?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, that is amazing. Nothing beats that, actually. Nothing beats that.
Where he's like, just in case the paparazzi get over it, I've done one blowjob, and it'll never happen again.
Yeah, my wife left me the bitch. Yeah, it's just like, what?
And they're like, "There's kids here, you know." So, oh god, yeah, definitely,
Amazing.
definitely recommend that season. Although it's a bit more kind of bit more subdued, wasn't it? It's a bit more
Mm,
emotional this one than the first one.
yeah.
I thought there were more laugh out loud moments in season 1.
Yeah, I did. I did. Like I said to you, I love both of them. I just think I've never known anything get me so much crying. Fucking hell, Dave. I'm like fucking emotional wreck after most episodes.
Yeah, Gervais definitely he deserves some kind of award because his acting there was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. But Chris, we digress again.
Yep.
So let's get on to Singletown episode 3, and then we'll be back in a few days when we can drop our thoughts.
Good stuff. Right, we'll see everybody next time.
Bye now.